Hi everyone, welcome back to T Quarter One Vlogs. It has been a very long time since I'm even talking to a camera, since I've edited, since I've touched my computer, since I've even pulled up my channel on YouTube. A lot of things have been happening, a lot of updates, so many life changes. I wanted to kind of sit back and chit chat and go over some of these big life changes that have been happening. In February, Will and I got married. We eloped at a semi-local town hall. Yeah, town hall. It was so cute. It was on Valentine's Day. Had our immediate family, my family, his family. It was just really nice. It was so cute. And then surprise baby shower. Oh my god, we got so many beautiful gifts for baby Scarlett. Amazing that we have so many people who love us and support this beautiful baby girl. The week after, I felt like a really bad cold. I was out of work for that whole week. I was not feeling good. I had a really bad cough, severely bad cough. I had such a sore throat. I went to the doctor and they basically said they can't give me medicine or anything because I was 36 weeks pregnant and they didn't want to give me any type of medicine that would induce labor. I kind of had to just suck it up, drink tea, drink anything that would help my throat, cough drops, Tylenol. Wasn't even trying to eat Tylenol like that because I was still so pregnant. I didn't want to hurt the baby in any way, especially being pregnant, that pregnant. And then that Friday that I was sick, I had a OBGYN appointment. Went into the office. It was very routine, had a sonogram. Baby was perfectly healthy. They took my blood pressure and my blood pressure was really high. I've had a normal blood pressure throughout my whole pregnancy, so this was very concerning. 20 minutes later they took it again and it was even higher than it was before. So because of that, they wanted me to go to the hospital the next day just to get the baby monitored, make sure that my blood pressure was being monitored. They wanted to see if it was going down. They wanted to kind of rule out preeclampsia. I still to this day don't even know what preeclampsia is, which is really scary. I know that it's really scary. Later that Friday evening, my mom, me and Will, we went to the store and she got me a whole bunch of maternity stuff that I needed in case I went into labor the next day because the doctor told me to pack a bag. I had nothing ready. I didn't have a bag, baby didn't have a bag, Will didn't have a bag. Nothing was prepared, nothing was ready. I also was just starting to get over a really bad cold. The nursery wasn't even done. It still isn't done, as you can tell. My doctor told me that if I have any sort of headache, if I have a fever, or if I'm swollen, to call him and go to the hospital earlier. He wanted me to be at the hospital around 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning the following day. I woke up bright and early at 5:36 a.m. with a headache. I took some Tylenol, waited about 30-40 minutes, maybe about an hour. The headache was not going away. Told my doctor. My doctor was like, all right, you need to go into labor and delivery. We need to get you monitored as soon as possible. We stopped for breakfast, which was such a bad idea. We got McDonald's breakfast. For someone who has high blood pressure, I don't think having McDonald's breakfast is a good idea, which I'm kind of glad we did get something to eat before we went to the hospital because we were there all day.
I'm extremely nervous. This is something obviously I've never done before, but I put a lot of thought and a lot of tears and sweat into
I was not allowed to eat. I was not allowed to drink as soon as we got into the hospital because they wanted to see what was going to happen. They hooked me up on all kinds of monitors. They put this belly monitor on to monitor the heartbeat, which was actually really cool. It was also very annoying because if I moved a certain way, this loud ass noise would come from the monitor because I was moving. It was really cool because you heard the heartbeat loud.
How you feeling?
Okay.
Okay.
Baby was fine the whole time. Scarlett was thriving in my belly still. They took my blood pressure it was either every 15 minutes and I went to every 30 minutes, then to every hour, and then every 2 hours. For the first 2 hours, I would say, my blood pressure kept rising. So then they gave me some medicine. The medicine that they gave me, I don't know what it's called, but it's basically like to prevent your blood pressure from increasing. But at this point, my blood pressure with the medicine was still around the same. It wasn't increasing, but my blood pressure before the medicine was like stroke level high, which is like, I don't know, incredibly dangerous. So they were worried about preeclampsia. Around 1 o'clock on March 15th, we see the doctor, and my doctor's like, listen, like, at this point, you have had this dosage of medicine. Your blood pressure is not decreasing like we want it to. It's still slightly elevated, and we're gonna have the baby today. The emotions that I went through when he said that, I couldn't even tell you. I had to have like a little exam done to see if Scarlett was positioned, if I was able to do a vaginal birth, or if I had to have an emergency C-section. I had to have an emergency C-section, which was not on my birth plan. I did not want a C-section. I was incredibly scared of a C-section. Yeah, did not want that at all. Just because you hear of like, I don't want to say horror stories, but you hear like how the recovery process is, and how like after you have the C-section, you have this huge scar. You went through major surgery, and then you have to get up and take care of a baby. You can't rest for a few weeks to a month. You have a baby you need to take care of. Then the doctor said, okay, the anesthesiologist, and I can't say this word, but the guy who gives you the anesthesia, yeah, him. The doctor was like, oh yeah, he's gonna come in and he's going to talk to you and kind of like determine when you are gonna be ready for the C-section. So the guy comes in, that guy with the long word I can't say, he comes in and he's like, all right, we're gonna have this baby in like an hour and a half. And I'm like, at this point, I'm hysterical crying. I am so scared. I didn't expect to have a baby that day. We literally were like, got told, okay, you're having a baby in an hour and a half. It was like go time. We needed to call all of our family members, our immediate family, letting them know like, okay, yeah, like Victoria's having the baby. We'll get suited up. I get wheeled into the operating room, I guess you could say. As they're like wheeling me into the operating room, I hear the nurses counting all of like the medical instruments, and that just freaked me out because I was like, oh my god, they're counting it to make sure that they don't lose an instrument inside me when they're doing surgery. They put me on this table, and basically they insert, it's called a spinal tap. It's like kind of like an epidural. I don't know if it's the same thing as an epidural, but it does the same thing. It numbs you from the waist down, and it's a big ass needle like that. I wasn't nervous for that because like I have so many tattoos, like I've had needles in me in crazy ass spots. I have piercings. Like I wasn't nervous for it. I was nervous for the actual C-section. So they do the spinal tap, which it hurt, but it was like nothing I could have, I handled it, you know. I wasn't having any contractions, like I wasn't having any pain down there. It was like weird, like I didn't feel like I was gonna give birth because I wasn't in labor, you know. It was really weird. When they gave me the spinal tap, it was like immediate, like everything became tingly. It felt like my legs and the like bottom half of my body were asleep. I couldn't feel a thing. But I was scared once they started to cut me open that I would feel something. I just kept saying, I'm scared, like what if I feel something? What if I feel something? They're like moving my legs around, they're putting like the drape over me, and I still felt pressure, I guess you could say, when they were like touching me and moving me around to get me prepared. I told the doctor, I was like, can we just make sure that like this is working? Like how will I know that this is working? They're like, all right, we're gonna do a test to make sure that you don't feel anything. I'm laying there, and I'm laying, my arms have to be like this. Apparently they pinched me. I felt the pressure of like the pinch, and I was like, oh, I feel that. They're like, no, you didn't. You felt the pressure. You didn't feel the actual pinch, because if you did, you would have cried. They put my hairnet on, get Will in there. They start cutting me up. Before they cut me up though, my doctor was like adamant about putting on my favorite music, so of course I requested Post Malone. Honestly, the most traumatic thing from the whole C-section was I felt a lot of pressure and tugging. Like someone was grabbing my stomach and just shaking me and putting a lot of pressure on it. And I just like, as they're doing it, I'm just picturing like what I think is happening, because like I can't see, thank God. Will's right next to me the whole time. He's holding my hand, he's giving me words of encouragement, he's telling me to breathe. I started to become really nauseous, and I was like, oh fuck, I really don't want to like throw up right now. No, not the time. Like I'm about to meet my baby. Like I don't want to be fucking yakking. Then all of a sudden I get like this weird pain in my ribs, and I was like, ow, 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 ow. Like I feel that. That's normal, because they literally took out like my intestines and everything. Like inside of me was on some ice, and it was just chilling there while they're trying to get the baby girl out. Talking about this makes me a little sad. Not sad, I guess bittersweet. They get her out, and I didn't hear her cry. That was always like the scariest thing for me, because I knew she was okay the whole time I was getting monitored, but I didn't hear that cry when she came out. And like in the movies and everything, you hear the baby coming out. So because I didn't hear her cry, I got so scared. And as I'm like seeing if she's okay, I start throwing up. And I keep saying like, oh my god, is she okay? I don't hear her, I don't hear her, I don't hear her. Will's looking at the baby, he's making sure I'm okay. I'm in pain. I hear like she didn't cry, she let out like a little like eh. And then I heard, oh, she's peeing. Oh, she's sleeping. So she freaking peed and fell back asleep. When I first saw her, I couldn't cry because I was like, there was so much stuff going on. But they wrapped her up, put this little cute little bow on. I was able to kiss her little cheek, got her all situated, and then they wheeled her down to NICU. She was early, she was a month early. Her gestational age was 36 weeks and I believe 4 days. Born before 37 weeks, she had to be placed in NICU. The only reason why she was in NICU was because she was born early by a few days. It's so weird because I was only pregnant for 8 months. She was born a month early. You would think she would be so tiny, so small, but she was born at 7 pounds 15 ounces, 20 inches long. She was so like healthy, and it's so sad because in the NICU there are these tiny little babies that were born when their moms were only 4 months pregnant or 5 months pregnant or a few weeks early, and they're really tiny or their lungs aren't developed. But like our baby was fully developed. She had to learn a little bit more faster because she was born early, but she was okay. The scary thing that happened was as soon as they cut the cord, her sugar dropped immediately. We believe that I had undiagnosed gestational diabetes. I got my test done. The test came back perfectly fine, but I could have been having like a good day. My sugar could have been just great that day. Thankfully, she was in the NICU, so they did a lot of testing. It went up, thank God. After she was born, I got wheeled into labor and delivery so I can kind of like rest and chill. First they sewed me up, Will had to leave, and then they wheeled me back into labor and delivery, and I met Will there.
Right.
And it was so weird because I was so numb, I couldn't feel anything, and I'm sitting there and I'm shaking because that's just like the side effects of everything. I had a baby, but I wasn't able to be with my baby. I went through this crazy thing and my baby's not with me. So that was like really heartbreaking. At that moment, we were just like processing everything. We were sending pictures to everyone, letting everyone know that she was born. Will had like, he walked into the operating room and he had 2 phones in his hand, and he was like taking pictures with his phone. He was amazing. He never left my side through the entire experience being in the hospital, recovering from his C-section. That's a crazy surgery. She was in the NICU and then she was able to go home with us. My hormones were so crazy, and looking back on it, I know it's because I couldn't stop crying as soon as like I saw her. Because like gorgeous, that's my beautiful baby, like I just had a baby, like duh, like you're gonna cry when you see your daughter for the first time. Could not stop crying. Felt bad that I was like needed him, like I needed to be dependent on him during that time because I like couldn't move. I had a hard time going to the bathroom. Like I really, like I needed him to be there with me. Like he needed to help me go to the bathroom. He needed to help me change. The night that I had her, I wasn't able to see her because I was in recovery. Will was he was the first one to hold her. And I remember being so jealous. I was like, oh, you hold my baby before me.
Hi. Say hi, mommy. Say hi to mommy. Say hi, mommy. Wave at the camera, baby. Yeah, you're so cute. Look at you. What are you doing? You are so precious. Oh. You're so adorable. Yeah.
I carried her for 8 months. I held her this whole time. Now he was able to hold her and feel her. I was able to feel her the whole time. He wasn't. 4 days after I had her, she and all of us went home, and she is a beautiful, beautiful baby girl. Oh my god, she gorgeous. In the first I would say couple weeks of her being home, she had really bad jaundice, especially in her eyes. Her face and her body was so red from her oh my god, I can't say this word either, hemoglobin from her blood. She looks like a totally different baby. A couple days after we left the hospital, we had to go to our first appointment at the doctor, at the pediatrician. They were concerned about her jaundice, so then we needed to go the day after to get her levels checked and everything. And that was really scary because they said that if her levels didn't go down or nothing happened, that she would have to be admitted to the hospital and get the blue lights to kind of help with the jaundice. I was very hormonal for the first couple weeks of having her. I guess it was just like adjusting to this huge change. It's not me and Will anymore. It's me, Will, and Scarlett. It's no longer the two of us. And even now, it's still kind of like, I miss that. Kind of like you're grieving like your past life, but it's also like, it's bittersweet because now you have this new chapter of your life. You have a beautiful baby that you get to raise. I could be talking about like the fucking blue sky and just start crying. It wasn't even depression. It was just emotionalness. She was born a month early. We were not ready. The nursery was not ready. It was a lot. Like I was worrying about like, oh my God, we don't have her dresser set up. We don't have anything set up. We don't even have her clothes or diapers in the drawers. And then on top of that, I had to like rest. And then on top of that, take care of a newborn. After like that emotionalness, I definitely started to have like wicked anxiety. Just being on maternity leave, like financial anxiety. If I have to use the bathroom and she's awake, she has to come with me. It was a lot of like anxiety like that. Oh my God, I'm home with this baby that like I'm still learning about and she's still learning about life. I don't want to like mess up being a mom. Will was still in school. He's still in school and he was working. Thankfully, oh my God, she came at like the perfect time. Even though she was a month early, he was on spring break when I had her. So that week that we came home, he was on spring break. So he didn't have to go to school, nothing. And that was one of my biggest worries, was him missing school. It was like a blessing in disguise, her being born a month early. She is definitely Will's daughter. She is so freaking tall. She is officially 2 months today. Today is May 15th. She is wearing 3-month pants. She was wearing 3-month pants as a newborn. She loves her baba. Oh my gosh, she loves her baba. She is finally like focusing on everything. When Will walks in the room, she like really looks at him. She is such a daddy's girl. It is the cutest thing ever. We celebrated my first Mother's Day and that was, amazing. I love being a mom. It's very exhausting and it's very tiresome, but it's so rewarding. I'm in a lot of first-time mom groups on Facebook. There was a time where, I mean, she still is. Scarlett is a very big contact sleeper. So there was like a week where she wouldn't go down in her bassinet or her swing to take a nap. She had to be on you. And that was really frustrating. Like I had to do laundry. I had to do her bottles. I had to do dishes. I had to fold laundry. I had to clean our bedroom. I had to clean her nursery. A lot of new responsibilities. Now we are currently planning for her baptism. It is coming up in a few weeks. We are so excited. A lot of big changes are coming up. Will is taking summer classes. Will's pretty much done with his first year of college. It's crazy to think about, like next year he'll be graduating and Scarlett will be 1 year old. What? It's been a crazy 2 months. I wouldn't change it for the world. Even though like some days I'm really exhausted and some days I'm frustrated. We're not really in a routine right now. That's hard too. I wanted to come on here and kind of explain my birth story. We're so blessed. We're so happy and tired. Scarlett is, oh my God, she's the freaking cutest thing. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. This one might be a long one. Hope you enjoy it. I also wanted to kind of throw in my pregnancy pictures and videos to kind of show the process and how big my belly got. I wanted to throw that in there as well as my postpartum pictures, because like it's so cool. Like one day you have this big belly and then like 3 days later the belly's gone. Thank you for watching.
half ready, half scared to death. Hand me the world wrapped in a pink blanket. The world falls asleep on my chest. I'm so in love, even though we just met. Got no clue what I should do next. We'll get it wrong, we'll get it right. Whole lot of tears, we both have to cry. You'll learn to run, I'll learn to let go. Years will go fast, nights will go slow. The Lord knows the best thing I said